Well, this here is the new Audi A4, and I reckon that the A4 has always been one of the best all-rounders in this segment. Now, one of the big reasons for that, of course, was that it had a very capable diesel engine. This one, though, comes with only a petrol for the moment. There's a 2-litre turbocharged petrol which makes 190 bhp. It's a sweet engine in terms of refinement and in terms of power delivery, but how is the car to sit in, how is it to drive, and how is it in terms of features? We'll get to all these things in today's video. From the front end, as you can see, it's a nice looking design, very classy, very elegant, and very cool and very desirable as well. You get multiple elements in the headlamp, nice and prominent grille, and of course slightly muscular looking bumper. So overall it's got controlled aggression which looks very classy and very posh as well. As you might be aware by now, is the online expert in terms of spare parts. If you want a spare part for your vehicle, they have it in their list. They have the most extensive spare parts catalog, right from the most affordable small car to the top of the line luxury car, you name the car, and they have the spare parts for it. And the best point is that they have the spare parts from a host of different component makers and different price segments for the same spare part. So if you want to buy a cheaper part from a different maker or a more expensive part from a different component maker, they have the option for you. And they also promise you 10 days assured return without any hassles. If you don't like the spare part, you can send it back and they'll return all the money to you in the first 10 days. So budmo.com is the name of the website. You can check them out on your iOS as well as Android devices as well. Also inside the cabin now of the new A4, the updated A4. In terms of the overall quality, well, I sometimes repeat myself, but it is true. All Audi cars, even the cheapest one and the most expensive one, all of them have very good quality. In fact, the best in class quality. All the materials, all the switches, all the plastics, all the fabrics, everything is absolutely first rate. The lower part of the center console, where a lot of manufacturers don't pay attention to, is so solidly bolted together. There's hardly any flex. In fact, there's no flex in it. And it just puts a smile on your face because you know that you're spending your money on a good product or a solid product. In terms of the equipment, well, it's an Audi and it's a top of the line Audi, so you get all the bells and whistles, paddle shifters behind steering wheel, automatic lamps, cruise control, voice commands, you know, the works really. And of course you get the various drive select modes, and of course you also get traction control, parking assist and parking sensors, and a huge touchscreen, one of the best touchscreens because it's very easy to use, easy to navigate through, and it's very quick. And the definition also is very high. So yes, in all the senses, it's a very good place to be in. The seat comfort is very good, and again, you get very good bolsters for your seating over here. So everything, as I just said, is absolutely spot on inside this car. In terms of practicality, a couple of beverage holders right over here, a big tray where you can keep your cell phone and wallet, and another big box over here where you can keep your mobile phone for charging, etc. And the door bins are also large enough for those big 1-liter bottles. Overall, when you spend 42 lakhs on this car at showroom, you'll realize that you're spending it on a good product. Now let's jump in the back seat and see how good that really is. Once I'm in the back seat now of the A4, now the front seats have been adjusted for my height and driving position as always. So my height for reference is 5'10". If you're about 5'10", 5'11", then you should be quite okay in these seats. There's plenty of place, headroom also is more than sufficient. Even if you're about 6, you should be quite okay. There's a huge hump in the floor panel though, so ideally you should only have 2 occupants in the back. You can adjust 3, but it'll really become cozy, and the third occupant will be struggling for space in terms of legroom at the back. You get your own AC vents, own climate control zone, and a 12-volt charging point as well. And it's a nice and comfortable place to be because the seat scob also is quite good in terms of support. The backrest angle is also decent. Could have been slightly better in terms of being a little more reclined, but it's quite okay, nothing to complain about. And you also get your own blind away. So in case you want to doze off with your seatbelt on and just reach your destination, you can do that without getting affected by the lights on the outside. Overall, a nice place to be. I'll give the back seat of this car a respectable score of 8 out of 10. Now let's see how big the boot on the A4 is. Well, so the Audi A4 is very good for you if you're a banker or a CEO because you'll always enjoy playing a game of golf, and when you have to chuck in that bag with the golf kits, it'll easily go in because it's a very deep boot. It can be put longitudinally or horizontally. Either way, it's not a problem. So for you, if you are that kind of person who's looking at the Audi A4, it's a good car. The aperture is also quite good. Bit of a sill, but you can easily forget because the boot is genuinely quite deep. Now today, I'll give it a good score of 9 out of 10, and today I won't crack that usual Sasuma mother-in-law joke, because if I do that too much, then I end up not getting dinner and sometimes not even getting lunch. Anyways, let's jump in the front seat and drive this car and show you how good it is to drive. Well, so here I am driving the new Audi A4 now, or the updated Audi A4. Now this car, remember, comes with a 2-liter petrol engine. The diesel engine is out, the 2-liter diesel is out, and this petrol makes 190 bhp of power, which is quite good enough in its own right. It's a powerful and punchy engine. The mid-range is very strong, so from about 2,500 RPM all the way up to about 6,000 RPM, where this car has its red line. The power delivery is phenomenal. Even the lower end of the RPM band is quite good. And the best part about this engine is its sheer refinement. When you're revving this engine hard, you're on the highway, you're doing speeds of about 100, 110 kph. The cabin of the car is very silent, and it's really cocooned from the world outside. In fact, cabin isolation overall is very good. There's no wind noise, there's no tire noise, and the engine noise, as I just said, is at an absolute distance. So you really are sitting in the lap of luxury, in the lap of comfort, and you're really cocooned from everything else on the outside. So if there's another car going past you, or there's a loud bus traveling next to you, or you're overtaking it, you'll be very little in terms of disturbance. There'll be very little disturbance inside the cabin, so you won't be disturbed at all. What this car also excels is in the ride comfort, and the agility also of the new A4 is quite good. It's a dynamic chassis, so it does change directions as quickly as a housefly. And in terms of the sharpness of the steering wheel, it is a very communicative steering wheel and a very, very accurate steering wheel as well. And of course, if you want to add a little more weight into the steering wheel, you can always choose the Drive Select mode over here, and you can change from the comfort to the dynamic setting, or even choose the individual setting, where you can of course use a host of different settings using this button over here, and check what you want in terms of the steering wheel, gearbox and engine performance. So these are things that you can do. Of course, a lot of people will always want to drive it in comfort mode, because that's the mode where everything is in the right amount of balance. And even in comfort mode, as I just said, it is a dynamic car to drive. The steering is sharp, the engine responsiveness is good, and of course the automatic gearbox is really very quick-witted. In terms of the usage, you can use the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, and when you use these paddle shifters, the gears actually do change within a millisecond. It's not as if you use this gearbox over here or use the pedal and the gears change after a second or two, unlike some other rivals. So that is something which this car has to offer. It's a very quick-witted gearbox as well. Even if you use it in full manual mode, you will never be able to tell which gear the car is in, because it really is a slick gearbox, a quick shifting gearbox. Both upshifts and downshifts are very quick, and it's a fun car to drive. Now, mostly buyers who buy these cars don't buy them to take them out on the racetrack, but even then it is a fun little package, because it has a relatively compact dimension, relatively compact wheelbase, and because the body roll is almost non-existent, you can take it out on the track as well if you of course have a track facility near you and you want to take it out on racetracks. And even if you go up the hills and you really want to belt it around those hairpins, even then there's some fun to be had in the new Audi A4. So in the driving department, it is a comfortable car. It's also good is in the ride comfort, because the ride is quite good. No matter what speeds you're doing, you might be doing slow city speeds, you might be negotiating some rumble strips, some badly pastured roads, some crevices, some expansion joints. All of them are taken care of. And even at faster speeds, as I just said, if you have some undulations on the road, the A4 will keep you very comfortable, and as I said, it'll keep you cocooned from the world outside. What's also good about the car is the excellent visibility. You get a good view from the front seats. The pillar over here isn't very thick, so you can easily look around it. The rear mirrors also, even though they're small, have a nice shape, so you can easily see at a distance. And of course, the mirror over in the middle also gives you off the view behind. And of course, if you want to park this car below your building and you think that it'll be difficult, it won't be difficult, because there are lots of functions which are available on the new A4 in terms of the parking facilities. So feature wise, it's a loaded car. Driving wise, it's a nice and good package. In comfort sense, it's very good, and in the driving engagement also, it is very good. But one thing which I think Audi could have improved is the location of the cruise control button. It's a lever over here, and for initial users it's a little tricky to understand how it works, and I reckon that instead of the button being over here, it should have been somewhere on the steering wheel. It would have been easy to access. So that's the only thing I thought that could have been improved and should have been improved on this car. Other than that, it's an excellent package, and I reckon if you're in the market for an entry-level car in the luxury segment, then the A4 should be definitely on your shortlist. It really is the best of everything in terms of comfort, refinement, drive engagement, and overall performance as well. Now let's end this video review with the verdict. Well, so I'll end this video review with just one line, and that one line is that the new Audi A4 gets an A+ in my book. It really is an A+ product in every sense, in the interiors, in the looks, in the features, in the driving, and truly it's one of the best cars in this segment. It's bye for now, and thanks for watching.